From San Diego, California, this is a One Extraordinary Marriage show, where being busy is overdone, romancing is fun, and scheduling sex has taken the guesswork out of wondering when you're going to get some. I'm Tony DeLorenzo, your co-host, along with my beautiful wife, Elisa. From coast to coast and around the world, thank you for joining us. It's time to talk sex, love, and commitment. Give us a call on the Hug Hotline at 858-876-5663 or send us an email to hugs@oneextraordinarymarriage.com. In today's show, we talk about how you can heat things up in your bedroom by playing some sexy games together.
And Michael Jordan had this to say about having fun and playing games. He said, just play, have fun, enjoy the game.
That's right.
And we were talking about that as we talk about these sexy games that you two can play together. But we start each and every One Extraordinary Marriage show with a hug. And for those of you that are brand new to the One Extraordinary Marriage show, first of all, we want to say welcome.
Yes, awesome to have you here.
We're so excited that you're joining us and tuning in this week. And for those of you that don't know, the hug is an opportunity for you to hear from someone else in the one family, someone who's experiencing transformation, who's having breakthrough in their marriage. And this week's hug is sponsored by care.com, and you can check them out at care.com/one. And the fact of the matter is that with so many things going on in our lives, it can be difficult to get everything done, especially this time of year, getting the house cleaned, right? Someone, especially if your kids are getting ready to have off from school, someone's always making a mess, and there just aren't enough hours in the day to get it done. And the truth is that you and I could use a little help to get all of our tasks done, to knock out that to-do list.
That's right.
So that we can spend more time together, right? More time doing the things that we really want to enjoy with the people that we want to enjoy. Care.com is a great way to de-stress your life and make your day-to-day simpler. Care.com is the largest digital marketplace for finding and managing family care, whether you need a housekeeper, a dog walker, a tutor, or simply someone to run your errands. They have all of this and more.
Especially during this time of year, what a great way to just take something off of your plate so you can be present with your spouse, with your family. You know, sometimes I know even for Elisa and I, we've done this. It's like, you know what, we have all this on our plate, but if we can just get rid of one thing, just one or two things off of our plate, wow, what a difference it makes for us.
Absolutely. And with Care.com's premium membership, I was able to see the hundreds of housekeepers right near my home when I put in my zip code. And the premium membership with Care.com provides so many tools like reference checks, qualifications, and certifications. It's such a great way to know who you're dealing with, and their site is so user-friendly. It's a great tool for me when I need those extra minutes in my day and when I need something at a minute's notice. Yeah. So to save 30% off your Care.com premium membership, go to care.com/one today to get started. Now, this week's hug comes from an email that we received, and this wife said, recently with a new baby, it definitely has been hard to be intimate in bed, especially living in a one-bedroom apartment. My husband has been working extra hard to provide for the three of us, and we are eternally grateful for him. I found your podcast on a whim, and this one on the 7 Days of Sex Challenge sparked my interest almost immediately. I didn't give much thought of the situation beforehand until I started listening, but the stress of extra work, endless sleepless nights, and, breastfeeding. She's like, It's definitely a joy, but these past 5 months have been all about the baby, and there was no us time. Well, that's about to change.
Yes.
Day 1 of the 7-day challenge is, well, what could I say? It was amazing. We planned a date night tomorrow, no baby, which feels like years already since we've had a night to ourselves. So far, the challenge is going great. We all need a reminder once in a while to take care of what started all of this in the first place.
That's right.
Thank you so much. I will definitely let you guys know how these 7 days impact our impact our relationship. Day 1, and I feel like this. Swoon.
I love it. It's amazing what can happen with the 7 Days of Sex Challenge. And we had a gal come up to us recently at church sharing her experience and, just hearing what challenges they were going through. And hers was one of those different ones too, which many of you from the one family have shared with us over the years, is you don't even tell your spouse. You're just like, I'm just doing it. And not even letting them in on it, and we're going to just see what happens. And I love those as well. And Elisa does too.
Absolutely. And, like Tony said at the beginning of the show, we're talking about sexy games to heat things up. And, really the truth of the matter is that this is one of those times of year where life just can sometimes get a little serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're rushing here and there. There's the never ending to-do list, even though, Christmas is a definite deadline.
Right.
To get stuff done. It just feels like the list just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. And you've got the Christmas parties, the get-togethers, the holiday events, the wrapping, the baking, the traveling. And just like the couple in that hug that we were just talking about, there's a lot of things that keep the two of you from having together time, that keep the two of you from having that us time. And when the two of you don't get that time together, the stress of the holidays can seem overwhelming. It's amazing what intentional connection can do for the two of you. According to an article on helpguide.org, The Benefits of Play for Adults, playing together relieves stress. It improves brain function. It stimulates the mind and boosts creativity. It improves relationships and your connection to others, and it keeps you feeling young and energetic. The problem is that most of us don't feel like we have the time to play games, and if we do have time, we don't know where to start, right? You can just feel like you're stuck and feel like you're stuck doing all of these different things and not having that connection with one another. And yet when you hear all of those benefits of play, it kind of makes you think, why are we just saving this all for the kids?
True.
Right? Why do they get all the fun? And when you look at this list of mental health benefits, it's like, you know what? Hold on. With the holidays coming up, we need to start thinking about what this looks like for the two of us. How can we relieve our stress? How can we improve the relationship and maybe even bring a little of that, young and energetic back, not just into our relationship, but also back into our bedroom? And I know for some of you, even thinking about this, you're kind of like, okay, Elisa, this just got awkward because now you're talking about like sexy games. And how am I going to bring that up? What am I going to say? Are you actually talking about me like playing games in my underwear or maybe naked? Like now I'm getting uncomfortable.
Which means that you're not under the sheets. The lights aren't turned off. They're on. So what are we doing together?
Absolutely. And it's true. I mean, we actually, I wish I could remember off the top of my head which podcast it was, but years and years ago, do you remember our Naked We?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Wii bowling.
We bowling and Naked We was, gosh, man, how many years? We're talking, that had to be 7-8 years ago. Probably
that was probably in the first 2 years of the show that we did a show on it wasn't strictly on Naked Wii bowling, but that came up in the show. And I get it because, when you're not used to having these conversations around your sexual intimacy, when you're starting to think, what would it look like if we were sitting around in our underwear playing a game? Like, how do I even bring this up to my husband or my wife? And it's going to come as no surprise to those of you that have been listening for a while, but for some of you, this is going to be the first time you're going to hear us say this. You're not going to have the conversations about your sexual intimacy starting in your bedroom.
Yeah, you need to bring this stuff up prior to the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an interesting one. For some of you, this may be, hey, game on. You guys are just totally cool. Like, this is something you want to do. You guys are way, what's the word I'm looking for? You just
feel relaxed about it.
Yeah, you just feel relaxed. You feel good about that. For others, it may be a little weird. Like, and I'm not saying weird in a bad way, but you're just not sure how to bring this up, or even for yourself, how to just sit there and go, okay, I'm in my lingerie. Or guys, maybe you're in like your cool Jinshi underwear, which I love, and maybe you got a robe on or something, but you're sitting there going, okay, what does this look like for us?
Absolutely. And even bringing it up, right? I think we go back to, what are those benefits of play?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right? Like, let's talk about the fact that come this time of year, you could probably both use a little stress reliever, right? I'm just going to say, I know in our house, there have been a few times over the last week where stress reliever has been a good thing.
It is a plus.
It is a plus. Little creativity, stimulating your mind, not a bad thing. Like, let's get you focused on all the work and all the responsibilities and get you focused on having fun and being creative in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, you both will benefit from that, right? And as you start to look at what this is going to look like, and as we start talking about playing these sexy games, there might be questions. And Tony and I can't answer these questions for your marriage, but we can definitely throw them out so that the two of you are thinking about it, right? How long should we play a game for?
Great question.
I don't know. Some of you may play the game from beginning to end. Some of you may play the game until you're like, you know what? We're feeling all hot and bothered. Let's just skip whatever was coming at the end and let's just go to, hitting a home run.
Right.
Right. Using those.
So for those of you who are super competitive with gaming, you're the Monopoly crazy person. Which
you like to win. Let's just. There are people out there that like to win a game.
But I've met some of these people with Monopoly.
Monopoly gets a little crazy.
They're just so honed in on winning that they forget that there's others around them.
Okay, yes. Let's
if like Elisa said, if you're just so competitive that you have to win, you're going to have to put yourself in check.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. This isn't about you winning. This isn't about you guys playing the game together and you win. You get to the end first. This is a game that you guys play together to enhance your sexual intimacy, to enhance your emotional intimacy. This is what this is about. So I'm just saying that because I think there are a lot of folks who the winning part means more to them and to
That's a good point.
to I have to win instead of the emotional connection and the sexual connection we're going to have. Because I'll tell you, if your goal is to win the game, the physical that physical game, you're going to move your piece around the board the quickest, the fastest, you're most likely not going to win in the bedroom.
Well, and that's the thing. One of the other questions you need to ask yourself is what are we ultimately trying to accomplish here? Right? Are we trying to accomplish I'm going to be, the household champ tonight? Or are we trying to accomplish increased physical and emotional connection?
Now, there are definitely times, and we know families and couples who have game night, and game night is whoever wins. We have one.
Well, yeah, they get their name on the chalkboard. I mean, it's a big deal.
We have some good friends. Yeah, their name is on the chalkboard for the week.
Yeah,
and so that is totally cool, and we love seeing that. But this is, what are we really wanting to accomplish here? I think when Elisa and I are playing these sexy games together, the accomplish is, for us anyways, we're stretching ourselves. We're getting outside of our comfort zone of how we're interlocking or interacting. Thank you. My words today.
Sometimes interlocking, yes. But that's a little that depends on the game.
Interacting in a sexual way outside of just being in our bed doing our normal foreplay and routine.
Absolutely. And choosing to play these games is about choosing to grow your relationship. Right? It's about choosing to have fun. It's about choosing to do something new and different. And it's not a one-sided experience, right?
No.
We're playing games with another person, which means that you both are participants.
And they're sexual games.
Yes. All of the games that we're going to be sharing with you in this show are sexual games. They all have a physical component to them. And trying these games, trying different experiences in your bedroom, it's about having fun. It's about trying new things and opening up to the different possibilities out there. And will it be awkward? Maybe. Will you have some laughs? Definitely. I can promise you. Go in with, let your guard down. Allow yourself to have fun and participate. And this is not just something I'm sharing for all of you. I tend to be the more serious one in our marriage. It's been a big joke over the last few weeks, just with the kids and stuff going on. And so this whole will you have some, yes, this you could just put asterisks and you put Elisa's name there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an opportunity to learn about one another? Yes. Because here's the thing, and we're going to tell you, take it slow, right? Don't just jump into these games and expect that whatever you play is going to be you're literally going to hit it out of the park the first time. You may. And we hope that a lot of you do, but it's going through this process, right? Because there may be, whether we're talking about cards or positions or, suggestions that one of you or both of you are not comfortable with.
True.
Right. Disclaimer at the beginning as we start to talk about these games. If there's something you're not comfortable with, skip it. Don't toss the whole game out. Just skip the cards or the dice or whatever it is that you're not comfortable with. But here's what I'm going to say to that too. Stretch yourself, right? Just because it's maybe something that you haven't done It's kind of like on the 19 questions to amazing sex with your spouse, right? We often say you can go through that list of questions, but you need to determine if this is, if some of these ideas are a no, not ever, like don't even ask me again, or if it's like, okay, hold on, I need to kind of wrap my brain around what that might look like.
That's a great way to look at it. And for those of you who haven't picked up the 19 questions to amazing sex, you can go to oneextraordinarymarriage.com/19 questions. And that could be a great starting point for you. Like, as we talk about these games, maybe pick one or two that really resonate with you, but get the 19 questions. And maybe that's just the starter as you're waiting for the game to show up at your front door.
Absolutely. And, go into this idea of playing sexy games, go into it with an open mind.
Yes.
Right? Like, go into saying, let's try. Let's try is a powerful phrase in your marriage, folks. I'm willing. I'm willing is another big one, right? Because ultimately your goal is connection and fun and that stress relief. And that's what you're looking to achieve.
And I want to just add something as well, because these games are typically played outside your bed. Like, I mean, I guess you could be on your bed for some of them, but also think about the ambiance you're setting in your bedroom.
That's good.
How are you setting up the bedroom? Is it by candlelight? Is it by a dim light? Is it the diffusers on with some, oil that really allows you guys to heighten that sexual intimacy? What is it that is in your bedroom that you're allowing to set the mood, the romance, the play? Because really, this is a bit different than, hey, we're just jumping into bed and we're going to do our normal foreplay. There is another layer here that is added. And so by just dimming the lights maybe, or adding, the salt lamps, I know many of you have those, or whatever you may do, can add just sort of the lighting itself, I think, can add just a calming effect to what could be a bit of an awkward and maybe even a stressful situation for maybe you or your spouse.
Lighting plays has a big impact. And the first game we want to talk about, it's called the Upscale Sex Dice, and they're actually four dice. I can't remember what the plural of die is. So dice. We're just going to use dice in this set. Right. And so you roll them in different combinations, but it's going to encourage foreplay actions, right?
Yes.
Because there's two dice. One's got an action. The other has a body part, right? So you might have something that says kiss. Well, this one also has a question mark on this dice. So kiss, and then you get to pick, or kiss lips, right? There might be tease and toes. Right. So you start getting into some really interesting things there that you have that going on with the foreplay.
Right. I mean, and this is just like any other dice set, right? I mean, you're just going to, roll those dice and you're going to put it out there. And whatever's rolled, that is what your spouse, and it can go either way too, because it could be you're rolling and that's what you're going to do to your spouse, or you roll and then whatever's there, your spouse does to you. Right. That's something that you guys have to decide. It honestly changes it up, you guys, because it takes you out of your normal, just this is what we do. And like Elisa said on this one, I mean, touch toes, touch body, tease body, there's so many, and obviously you're going to get into the private parts.
Yeah.
You're going to get into these areas as well. And we're not going to.
Kind of the idea.
And sometimes we got to watch out by saying words because we want to make sure we keep the podcast clean for iTunes and all that jazz. So but just know that. Just know that, because it is going to stretch you. Because when it says kiss penis, oh, okay. That means,
That means Tony's definitely not doing that to himself. So,
right.
You just can't reach down there. But, it's also looking at. Well, not for a man. That's like impossible.
Right. Oh, no,
that's what I'm
know.
saying.
Yeah.
He's always like, what did you say? But it's also looking, the other part of that dice set is that there are two dice that have different positions on them, right? So you're rolling
Correct.
the dice. And in this one, you're each rolling a dice. And those are the first two positions that you're going to start with that night, or you're going to attempt, right? And so you start getting into, okay, you're breaking out of your routines here. And sometimes you're like, okay, how are we going to get into that position? What does that entail? Right. And so you get some more conversation going around there, but that's just a fun, like everybody, I mean, you can stick dice in your sock drawer, right? And just pull it out when the two of you are getting ready to enjoy each other.
Try.
And start rolling that dice. Next one we want to talk about is Lover's Choice. And I pulled out a couple of our cards. Lover's Choice is like the ultimate scratchers game for couples.
And just an FYI, all of these you can find on the show notes here on the show. So you can come on over, click through, check out these games, learn more about them. If it's for you, pick it up, go for it.
So Lover's Choice is 52 weeks of romance, and there are cards for her to read and do and cards for him to read and do. And I just happened to pull out, I intentionally pulled out one that was for me to read and one that was for Tony to read. And so the one that I had recently was IOU Nag Free Week. Resolve to spend an entire week without nagging or getting on his case. Zip up those lips and bite your tongue. Now, let me just tell you something.
And these are scratchers.
Right. Like I didn't know that was going to be on here. I just scratched it. And I'm like, ooh. And here's just as a side note, those of you that have coached with me, you know that this is something that I would love all of my coaching couples to do. If you don't complain or nag for an entire week, let me tell you something. The romance in your marriage is going to go up simply because it's going to be a more positive environment. Just saying.
True. And the one I had scratched off was 7 secret love notes. Write a short but sweet love note to your sweetheart. Cut the note into 7 pieces and put each section into an envelope. Mail each envelope to her and see her have fun piecing it together. So the cool part about this is actually writing. It's 7 different notes. It's coming together for her over the course of a week. So the cool thing with this one that I do enjoy and have enjoyed with this one is because it's a scratcher. It's not like one of those things where you're flipping through and you're like, oh, that's a good one. Oh, I don't like that one. Oh, this really pushes you to go, am I going to do what it says?
Mm-hmm.
And for those of us who have gone through trying times and trust may be an issue and we're rebuilding that trust, we can still have fun together. And we can do it in a way that allows us to play in a fun-spirited way. Because by doing this, it shows that if I'm going to go through with this, it shows Elisa that I'm rebuilding that trust. She sees that I did it and I am going to do it. And same with her. Like, no nagging. Hey, it may be that we share what's going to be happening to stay accountable to each other. Because if she does start to nag, we say, hey, remember what you pulled out this week.
Right. And it's one of those things too, where like Tony said, you can share for accountability or you can choose not to share because you're going to surprise, right? Like ladies, I'm just telling you, if you got the no nag one, he might say something or just kind of be looking at you funny over the course of the week as you're like, why isn't she? Or guys, I'm just telling you, if she gets 7 envelopes in the mail that have pieces of a love letter in there for you, or from you, she's going to be a little bit excited, right? And so it's one of those things where you think about, okay, how is what I'm doing, right? Like this one, you might be like, well, how is that in the bedroom? Let me tell you, you start doing these types of actions because you don't know what you're going to get, and the sexiness will definitely come into the bedroom. And, as we're talking about these different games, as we're talking about different things that you can do, I just want to remind you to go to care.com, because what it's going to do is it's going to free up this time and this mental energy, because you're going to get the help you need, whether it's housekeeping or running errands or doing all of these different things that care.com and all of their providers. Oh my gosh, it's like a full-on buffet of service providers for you guys. And their premium membership has so many tools like the reference checks and the qualifications and the certifications. It's such a great way to get all of that other stuff in your life taken care of so that the two of you have time to free up, to play these games, to sit down and say, you know what? The house is clean. Now let's face it, ladies, you all know when you walk into a clean house, you're like, oh, somebody loves me. Right. And all you had to do was go to care.com/1. You're going to get that 30% off your premium membership, and you're going to do it to get started. So we've got a couple more games that we want to share with you. One of them, the first one that I'm going to mention, we're super excited about because this is actually a collaboration that we did with Rehab Gaming USA. And This game is called Rehab After Dark. Here's the thing. It's a deck of 52 cards, right? I mean, guys, you could take a few of these cards, stick them in your wallet. Ladies, you can put a couple in your purse. You can actually play this game. You don't even have to play this game in your bedroom.
No, this is the one game that I would say is it allows you guys to really work on that emotional intimacy, to really heighten you, get you excited and ready for what's going to come in the bedroom.
So when we did the collaboration with these guys, we actually we wrote most of the questions. Well, we wrote the questions.
Yeah,
with them in partnership. So, as we start talking about those types of things, as Tony was saying in regard to anticipation, here's one of the questions, and we're going to read a few of them so you've got an idea. Field trip. Name 3 places outside of the bedroom where you'd like to have sex. Okay, start stretching yourselves, folks.
The cool thing with this is if you're going on a date night, take 2 or 3 of these with you and just answer them.
Yeah.
This is the fun part of laughing and stretching outside of the bedroom, because then you can take one of these other games and get it inside the bedroom. So there's always you gotta play in and out, and they both come and they really work together.
Mm-hmm. Here's another one, and I know this particular topic comes up with a lot of my coaching clients. It says vacation sex. You and your partner are away from the hustle and bustle of life. No obligations, no schedules. What is your favorite part of vacation sex? See, these are the kinds of things, when we start
get you talking.
Another game that those of you that have been around a while have heard us talk about. It's one of our favorites.
It's called the sex stack. And this is like Jenga on steroids for us.
Like Jenga in the bedroom.
Right. I mean, it's better than Jenga. I mean, Jenga, like, it falls over, you win. This one is like you pull out a block, and there's a number on a block. There's going to be 4 sets of cards. And each one is different. I will tell you, it's the black set that gets a little raunchier. Mm-hmm. So if that's not you, don't even look at it. Throw those in the trash and call it good and move on. You have now those sets of cards. You pick a set, whatever number is on that block. It tells you what to do. You do it. Mm-hmm. Again, the game goes back and forth. It's fun. Sometimes a Jenga game is going to end with the blocks falling over. Sometimes you're going to just be in bed or on the floor or wherever, the chair, whatever may be near you, where you're already making love.
Right. And just go with it.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, these games, the idea of having these sexy games, the idea of having the cards in your wallet, the idea of having the scratchers that you can do or the dice that you're going to pull out is that you're fostering connection between the two of you.
Correct.
You're doing something different than just saying, hey, want to have sex? I mean, it accomplishes something, but is it building your relationship? Is it building that emotional and physical connection to say, let's build some anticipation here. Let's get creative. Let's have fun. Let's laugh. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to encourage you, don't just wait for like a good day to order one of these games. Don't wait until you're like, oh, we haven't had any fun in the bedroom for a really long time. Do it now. Pick out 1 or 2 of these and get them to, maybe you're going to put them under your Christmas tree. Or better yet, maybe the 2 of you are going to have special time in your bedroom, just the 2 of you on Christmas morning. And you're going to pull out a wrapped present for your love to open up. Right? Not every Christmas present, guys, has to go under the Christmas tree. In fact, games like this, just as an FYI, unless it's only the 2 of you, are best opened in the privacy of your bedroom.
It's a great present all year round. It's something fun. It's something that just changes it up in what's happening in your bedroom. And that's the key here, you guys, is let's find something new to open ourselves up, because even playing one of these games one time, maybe 2 times, whatever it may be for you, could really open up something exciting as you move through your marriage, because it's something that you never would have thought of doing just on your own. Or it's just like, we wouldn't have done that, but now you do. It's something that you've added to that sexual intimacy toolbox. Use it, enjoy it, have fun together. And that's the key, you guys. Have fun, build it up for each other, and then just go for it. Like we said, hey, you know what? You may finish the game, you may not. The end goal really is that you guys are having fun together, and that's what it's about. So go into it with a spirit of fun and excitement, And you know what? If you run into a place where you are feeling a little stretched or maybe a little nervous, hey, that's the way we build a bond between each other, to share that with our spouse, to allow them to, come beside us and say, you know what? I'm here for you. That bothers you right now. I got it. Let's just skip it. It's okay. Pick another card. Let's do something else. It's okay. We've had those times in our marriage as well. And those are growing times as well. So we love you guys. Have a fantastic time with these. Most of all, have a very Merry Christmas. We love you guys. Spend time together in a way that only the two of you really get to enjoy, be it a fun game like this, or just you guys go on a walk on Christmas Day together. Do something that will build up your marriage this year. We love you guys. Have a fantastic week, and we will catch you next week. Love you guys.